In this video, just what is the deal with that Clio in the corner? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Literally some of you have asked, what is the deal with that Mark 1 Clio that we see in the back of your unit in most of your videos? Well, since both the Rover and the Fox are mid head work and I'm waiting for tools and fasteners and various bits for those to continue, let's have a look, shall we? So this car, some of you may have noticed, is a Mark 1 Renault Clio. It's a 1.4 automatic, 1992 on a K-reg. And it's really very clean and tidy. It's a little bit dusty, it's been sitting in here for a little while, but apart from sort of the odd some stone chips and a little bit of sort of localised rust on the top of this door where it's been, the door edge has obviously been damaged and it's rusty, and a few pretty odd chips on the back and a missing washer jet, it's in really quite good condition. And the interior as well, it's really nice, hardly touched, looks quite new. But there's a good reason for that, because it only has 33,627 miles on the clock. So it's barely run in, this one. But of course, as is usually the case with cars that come across my hands, it doesn't work, or it doesn't work properly. The story with this car is someone on the beige, Rob if you're watching, bought this car basically just to save it from the jaws of the crusher. It was literally about to get scrapped. He paid close to the scrap value for it and took it home. And that involved a fair old journey around the M25. And it made it fine, but it wasn't running properly. And I said the reason it was going to be scrapped is because it was running rough and the owner had sort of run out of patience with it. And I think the garage they were using was a little bit iffy, and we'll touch on that in a bit. But Rob bought the car and he took it home, and he was actually just going to present it for an MOT because it had a very, very short MOT, and see what it needed and get a bit of a shopping list. But then the running issue got even worse, and he was pretty sure that not only would it fail on emissions for the way it was running, any tester worth their salt would probably abandon the test and refuse to test it. And that was when he, being a bit short of parking and stuff, decided it needed to find a new home. And enter Muggins here, who paid for it to be recovered from London to Gloucester. A cost that exceeded the value of the car. So I'm in this for just under £400 now, which isn't ideal, and that includes a little bit of spending on parts that I've done on it so far. Now, the inlet manifold gasket was Rob's main contender with this. He thought that was the cause of the rough running. Air getting in where it shouldn't and it not running properly. We replaced that, didn't make any difference. Did some googling about the Renault E7J 1.4 engine that's in this, and a lot of people saying, oh, it's the temperature sensors, they'll run terrible when they're cold. If the temperature sensors are broken, it'll run too rich, it'll misfire, it'll just not be healthy at all. It was kind of similar to the symptoms we were seeing, so I changed out the temperature sensors and that didn't fix it either. So we'll just start this up and I'll show you what the running issue looks like. So that's quite enough of that. Can't really talk over it, it's so loud and horrible, but as you can see, it's got a very shaky, very uneven idle. And so we're definitely getting into a firm game of parts darts with this one, throwing parts at it and seeing what happens. Not ideal. And I also had a play with the map sensor. Runs a little bit better if you disconnect it, but I had a spare one, a brand new spare one that I bought for another car I didn't use. It was exactly the same. Put that on, it doesn't run at all with a new map sensor connected. When you go to start it up, it just won't start. Put the old sensor back on or leave it disconnected from the vacuum line and it starts and runs, but badly. So something's still a little bit iffy there, but I've checked the vacuum lines behind the engine. They all seem to be both intact and connected properly, running clear. So I'm kind of at a bit of a loss. And then I started looking through the paperwork that came with the car, and I talked about this with Rob briefly when I bought it, is that the previous owner had been told by a garage that the head gasket had gone, and that was the cause for the misfire and the rough running. Now, the reason that we didn't go straight to that is because it doesn't overheat at all. Rob drove it around the M25, at least 20 miles an hour, which I assume is the speed you can get up to on that big car park, and it doesn't overheat, it doesn't misbehave, and when you're actually driving it at speed, it seems to run alright. The misfire and the rough running seems only really to be at idle. Sounds familiar, because it sounds a little bit like how the Fox was running. So, having now been through that, which happened after this one, I am starting to wonder if we do have cylinder head damage, valve damage, or anything of that nature. But the previous owner was told it was the head gasket, and in their infinite wisdom, looks like they put K-seal or something like that in it, because I can see the coolant is absolutely minging and it's got shiny bits in it, but the oil's clean and it doesn't actually show any sign of oil and water mixing. It just has pretty dirty, horrible coolant like maybe the radiator's a bit old and rusty inside or something like that. It doesn't actually seem to me like it's oil mixing with the coolant. It's just got really old, horrible coolant with the glint of K-seal mixed through it. So the jury's still out on that one for me. I did a sniff test on it using a combustion leak tester, and it didn't show any sign at all of combustion gases in the coolant. And the next thing I'm probably going to do is do a compression test, because we found with the Fox that was a pretty good indicator of valve damage. That if you've watched the Fox video, you'll see that we had some fairly conclusive damage to the exhaust valves on that engine, which resulted in low compression. So I think a compression test is probably in order for this to see what's going on with it. But I guess for now it's just going to continue being that car sitting in the corner, but at least I can now answer your questions with a link to this video. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.